Oh boy. Stand by, here we go! Down, 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 down. No, 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 no. Oh, shut up, you're ruining it. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. Yeah. Coming in from New York. That's YAWK. Having my coffee. CAWFEE. Jamming to the tune. Oh, God, that hurts. Coming down, stand by. Oh, no, no, oh, 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 no, no, oh, no, no. Remember, you gotta get the pinky going. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. Stand by, I got something else for us. Setting it up now. Hold on to your hat!
My name's Tyler, and I'm a psychosexual. I'm only attracted to crazy girls. There's something about mental instability that gets me absolutely bricked up. It's not easy, but I weed out all the rational girls on the first date. What would you do if I slightly deviated from an existing plan?
I would say, hey, sometimes you gotta go with the flow.
Disgusting. Lose my number. It's tough being a psycho lover because women naturally conceal their insanity and then soft launch it after a few months once the relationship's more established. Little do they know, that insanity is actually what I want. What would you do if I came home, say, 20 minutes late?
I would call you 12 times.
What else would you do?
I would go through your phone once you got home.
Don't stop.
Been there.
I would get blackout drunk and get behind the wheel of my white Jeep Wrangler, and if you really loved me, you would make sure I wouldn't crash and die.
Us psychosexuals have a saying. If she's fucked in the head, she can fuck in the bed. Psychosexuals, we're here. And in this day and age, we're thriving.
Oh my God. Coming down, stand by. What's up, everyone? Hope everybody's doing okay. Are you guys ever have any issues like that? I know I have definitely met some that were certainly borderline like that. And of course, I've met some nice ladies. Maybe let a few get away. In my day, of course, this is the ex that, she's at times, especially back in the day. Oh, yeah, but those problems fade as you age, right? Because once you hit 50, you are essentially, you're invisible to the ladies, Well, for most of them. Let me see what everybody's doing. Let me say hi, everybody. Hello, humans. Robert Mel says, hey, Archie. Brian, welcome, Brian. Hello. I know I'm late, fellas. Mel says, yeah, you're in makeup. Yeah, I spelled that wrong on the graphic. Brian says, yep, correct. Mitch Simpson, how's it going, dude? What's up, Mitch? Welcome. Johnny Bravo, welcome in. They're all bat-ass crazy. Yeah, that was sick. I know. All right, Brian says, I wonder how nutso P-Lady is. Yeah, totally. Some of the most fun ones, though, are a little, like the guy said, if they're effed in the head, they're awesome in bed. But, guys are crazy, too, right? You can't put it all on the ladies. And, guys can make ladies crazy, and ladies definitely make us crazy, for sure. And that is good stuff. I like finding stuff like that. It's fun. But I haven't really had a lot of time to go over things like that. Because I've been busy. I'm sure as everybody else out there is busy as well. And I'm going to show a couple of things. I want to catch up with Mike. Mike just sent me... Big Mike just sent me a photo. We ordered a bunch of tires and stuff for the Sunstar, so we're just going to catch up for Mike's benefit and everyone else's, and for myself, because I think you guys know how much I like the Sunstars. He sent me a pic. See, my daughter's upstate camping, and this Big Mike. Oh, wow. And nice tires. I want the fronts. I think these are the fronts. Yeah, Max Auto. You're not going to see him, but one thing I did forget, and I know Henry's going to say, because Henry said, well, because Henry made, check out Henry's channel, Henry Mirowski, Big Dog Repair. He made one of those tire bead seaters. And he says, you should make one. I don't know if I'm going to have time, but I might need one. I have a can downstairs, I have a couple of things. I even have some barbecue tanks and all kinds of things. But I have an air, it's a kind of an air-filled tank. You know, the portable ones. You fill it up with air. It's buried. And I was using it for a while for some extra air support before I got this big tank that's downstairs. Huge Worthington, which is on my channel. And I don't know, the thing's huge, but I've got the old pump that I've been running for years. I could weld on it. I don't know if I have the valve for it. I might have a big valve. I don't know if I need one that big, but I don't know if I have the time. That's the thing. I may just have to break down and buy one. I got to go see. Now, the other options are, because I got that nice tool I bought. I got that, and you guys saw, if anybody wants to check out it, doesn't know, on my channel recently, I did one of the small little 4-inch tires for the snapper on my tire machine. Because I picked that machine. It's a little bit different than some of the other machines. It's got these claws that pull out and grab the rim. And the one bad thing about that is that when you want to go do a bead seat, they're in the way. However, when you want to go do a bead seat, you don't necessarily need to claw the rim or hold the rim down. And I was thinking that I could make something to hold the rim down in the conventional way with the tube that goes through the center. And I thought, well, with this kind of design, I could make something and modify it and kind of have the best of both worlds. Let's see who texted me. So, as you fellas know, it's a pain in the neck. Yeah, at the movie. Oh, yeah. When you get these new tires, or even the old ones, now you can squeeze the outside perimeter of the tire, it'll fold out. The other thing I was thinking, I've done this before, is where you leave them out in the sun. It's still warm out, so you can do that in the summer. You can't do that in the winter or a lousy day, but you can leave them out. And what I've done before is I've shoved coffee cans and bricks and whatever, anything to prop up the bead area so that you expand it. Now, his rear tires are big. Our tires are pretty big, decent size. What are they, 23, 24 inch? Yeah, those can be a pain in the neck, so that's going to be interesting, and that's coming up. So we just got the first 2 tires in, and so I guess the others will be right behind. And I'm just about ready for them anyway. I got one more day or half a day of this thing up on my bench. Let's take a look at the thing. And then I'm going to move it. I started cleaning up in the garage to make a spot for it. So I'll have to kick something out of the way. But that garage needs to be cleaned bad. Oh my God, the leaves have been coming in there forever. I cleaned up in here too tonight a little bit. Because when the leaves blow in, the place just gets covered with, everything just gets covered with dust, and all the little spiders and bugs and ants and everything else, they're all on the leaves. They'll come in and it rolls underneath the desks and all the work tables, and it stays there, and it's just kind of gross. So I got a little bit cleaned up in here. I got to do that to the garage because you could see the manifestation of all the insects and spiders. And we got this new lantern beetle. Have you guys seen that? It came over from Asia. It's all brightly covered and everything. I have it in one of my videos, but I don't think I released it yet. I caught one and killed it. And my daughter and I have killed a couple of them. There's no natural predator for the damn thing, and they're like bright red and white, and they're bizarre looking, and they jump. They don't just fly. The one on the table, he was following me. He was like, oh, I see you, and then I would move a little bit, and he'd turn, he'd be looking at me, and they jump first, hard and fast and high, kind of like these damn spigots, these spider crickets. What a nightmare. So I gotta see. So I'm gonna have to dig out that thing out of the basement, go look around, see if I have a valve that's big enough, or just run over and pick up a valve. And I think I might have a Schrader valve too that I can weld on it. But I might just do it just because it's a project. So that's something I got to do tomorrow or Monday. start poking around in there. I've been wanting to get the damn thing out anyway because I've got a little tiny tank and compressor. It's very small. It's a pancake. But the compressor that's on it is really kind of cheesy. It scares me. I'm like, when is this thing going to blow? I got it off the trailer, off of Juan's trailer, and I fixed it, and it worked. I'm like, well, this, it's like a little air nailer thing. Then I have my late buddy Don's air nailer, which I put, that one works good. That's an old Campbell Housefield. I put that on top of a bigger tank with wheels on it. That was also an airless that I got from Mikey. It was his for a while, and it blew out. It acted all weird and stuff. It was acting all weird. I tried fixing it, but it was just, the motor was weird. It was doing weird crap. And I think I put it on a video. Let me catch up. Let's see. And roll batshit crazy, that was sick. I wonder how nutso P-Lady is. Matt Malice says, she drives me crazy fine. Young Cannibals? Henry says, yeah. Alrighty, hi, mate. Yeah, I was just talking about you. Oh, thanks for the shout. Oh, good deal. So you heard. So, ether and fireworks for seeding a beat. Yes, it does, but it's not always the best thing to use. It is dangerous, and a lot of times it doesn't work. It doesn't get in enough through some of these. Like if you're close, if the bead is kind of close to where you need it to be, it's very hard to get it lit properly. I've been trying it for years. Whereas if you get one of these, filler bottles essentially, and I like the ones that have a nice sort of folded down nozzle too with the holes in it, because you can kind of get it into the bead area, and maybe 1, 2, maybe 3 times is what it takes to basically pop a bead, seed a bead. Maybe 3. And there's no fire and there's no muss and there's no fuss. I think it takes a little bit of practice if you haven't done it before. I actually got a friend of mine had one. I used it a few times. But it's just more consistent. It's easier to deal with than trying to spray stuff in there. And, sometimes I have luck with it. Sometimes I haven't had luck doing that. And it is kind of dangerous. It's fun. What's up, man? What in the wide, wide world of arch did I stumble into tonight, right? Yeah, did you see that first part with the crazy? That was fun. Oh, I'm going to save this. I'm going to save that for later. Definitely. Yeah, let's go check out a little bit. So I wanted to see, by the way, if I could lift Mike's tractor, Mike's Sunstar, just like half of it with the front of my Sunstar. And let me see if I can find that. Where is that? I'll just check that out real quick. I'll find that, and while we're waiting for me to find that, either way, which monitor should I put this on tonight? Do this monitor over here? Tina says hi. Hi, Tina! Tina, what are you doing? How are you able to hear it and see us? You have internet service up there? How are you charging your phone? Let's see. That's my daughter. Tina! Yeah, on my phone. Nice. Careful, you're going to use up all your minutes. Oh, you charge it in your car? Nice. Let me move this. Tina, I miss my daughter. Where are you? When are you coming back? Everybody just disappears, right? Where's my daughter? The doggy went out on his own today, Tina. He did crap in the house, but we managed to get him up. The poor dog, Apollo's kind of getting old, and he's having issues with his legs and stuff. And he collapsed out in the sun the other day. We tried to get him out for a little while. He couldn't get up the steps. And then we figured, well, let's bring him around the front because it's fewer steps. And by that point, like he just sits in the sun. He keeps trying. And then he got all squirrely, and then he got out of breath, and he got shot. And we finally got him out to the front. He couldn't do it, and then he just rolled over, and he couldn't get back up again. And at least we got him into the shade for a little while. And we gave him his dog bowl with full of water, and he just basically laid his tongue and his face in it and just kept sucking that water in and laying in it. He was just shot. And then eventually after, I don't know, it was about a half hour, 45 minutes, we were able to get him to the point where we could get him in the house and with turn the AC on and everything. So we've got him on some meds. I put him on some steroids, half a steroid, and every other day, and a couple of painkillers, half a painkiller each. on one day, like towards the morning or whatever, and then towards the night. And the next day, it's like half a steroid and an antihistamine or decongestant because he's got allergies. It sucks getting old. It's hard, right? It's hard for the animals, too. So, oh, hey, Tom. Tom Dobie's here. Yeah, let's take a look. Let me just catch up real quick. Yeah, the Tractor. Yep, that's Mrs. Tractor. Yeah. Mrs. Tina, we're not in the middle of nowhere, Rhode Island. Yeah, that's kind of like nowhere-ish. Is it a little bit nowhere-esque? You know, is it more rural or less rural than where you were the other weekend? Nice. Garage. Yeah. Yeah, Johnny Roberts says, yeah, talking to Arches. Garage in my best Dolby voice. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, let me switch this. Let's just take a quick look. We'll go over to the right monitor. Try the right monitor this time. Let me turn the desktop audio on. Now, it shouldn't echo. Oh, look at that. Yeah, that sounds about right. So later. It's clean, right? It's as clean as it's going to get. For me, at least. But that's clean. It's all clean. You can see how nice and clean the aluminum got, right? That's the phosphoric. It'll even take all this rust off. And you might be saying, well, what's all this splatter yuck? Well, that is a precipitate. It is essentially the phosphoric acid, has some zinc in it. So you get a zinc phosphate that comes out of solution, and it has an electrical affinity for steel, but particularly rusty surfaces. And that deposition actually protects the metal. It wipes off. You can actually, it can get a little chalky, but it's been rinsed. But you see, I can see it on my fingers. It's kind of a salt. It's a good way to think about it. And you know, you can wipe it off with a bit of solvent. You just spray right over it. Really, it doesn't matter. But you know, we'll wipe it a little bit, but it will protect it. In fact, if you have a steel panel or something, like in here, that was all rusty and everything. You could leave it out. I wouldn't leave it out in the rain, but let's say, you know, it's really humid today. It's been humid all day. It looks like it's going to rain again. Yeah, it's raining. Especially this kind of Long Island weather. Well, it'd sit out. Now, another thing I noticed, too, it's a little bent, but I made a rod. This is the lift rod, or flat bar. And somebody used this flat bar stock and put a twist in it. Well, actually, it's been twisted, so we need to straighten that. It's a little bit there's really not enough material here, so it needs some reinforcement. That might come another day. Next time he comes back, I might tell him to bring his attachment, or we can use, you know, mine. So that needs to be beefed up. But I like that somebody did this. This is not original. I don't believe it is. And I like that idea because that's very simple to make, than as opposed to the one that I made. Now, word of caution, and that's for you, Mike, and I think I mentioned to or anybody else, you could fix this, right? You could give it a tweak. You can heat that up. However, don't do it on the machine because you're going to be putting the kind of lateral forces, these torsional forces, on the other side of that, where that would never see forces like that to bend that straight again. And it probably bent because it's not really strong enough. But an advantage to doing something like this for me is if I can map out this entire system. You know, I didn't do it when I was making my lift rod, but I would need to draw it out, take pictures of it, and physically measure everything, and then look at the geometry. And then I could figure out how to enhance it so that I can physically lift more than I'm lifting now just by some simple math and some geometry. A little leverage. Everything's looking real good. Even though I washed it and cleaned it and shot it, oh, you can see this was all rusted in there. That was all rust. If I put it on there again, it would be rust free. So we're going to try to get a little bit of rusty metal primer all in there. And again, even though I cleaned it, there's still stuff in there. And you can see mouse house garbage. That's one of the problems with this. This motor is in better shape than mine. It doesn't blow smoke from one end. She doesn't seem to be leaking. She definitely needs motor mounts. But when you get a lot of junk built up in these areas here, that's how you'll kill a cylinder. In a heartbeat. You'll freeze up a valve, you'll wear it. And that would be a shame for this guy, because this guy's in beautiful shape. Oh, it looks like a hunk of crap. It's not a hunk of crap, fellas. It looks rude. What'd you do to it? You made it worse. And they didn't make it worse. Stop. All right. All this looks all good. I kind of blew it off. It's been sitting and drying. We'll get a little paint on a few spots. So Monday, I'm going to jack it up. What are you going to do, Arch? Stop. Everybody's always got a dirty mind. I'm not going to jack it off. I'm going to jack it up. We're going to bring it up. I'm going to pull these tires off. Well, rims, really. Tires are on the way for this. But I'm going to pull these off and get in there and inspect and lubricate, because, like on mine, I've got mine set up where you'll never, even with your feet, you can't even get it to, this is the lock for the brake, parking brake, and it doesn't work right. It's all jammed. So we want to get through all of these in here. We got all kinds of joints too, circ fittings, or whatever you want to call them, to lube up. Put a little bit more lube inside there. That spring that I showed you, that's not correct. I guess the torsional spring broke over here. I'm going to pull this battery out and let this dry in here, because we got that pretty good with the phosphoric acid. So we're going to put a little rusty metal primer on that. We'll go over his brakes. I got a spot back there where my tractor is. Started cleaning up back there a little bit and putting some things away so we can get to this nice work table again. Because I had a project where I could have used this work table, and I can't use it because there's so much crap in the way. I'm going to find a place for this thing and kick it outside someplace. I'm sick of having it in here. I don't know when I'll get to it, but we'll just throw it outside, put a cover over it, probably just towards the front. I can't move it. I can't have a motorcycle. I can't move it. It's too big, and I'm not going to ever put it on the road. We just want to get it running, get rid of it, get it out of my effing way. It's been sitting here for over a year. So he'll be back there somewhere, and then we can take the tires off, move a few things out of my way, because we can't have it here. So I've been milking this tire along. It's flat again. And, I'm worried that these things are going to blow out, and then I really won't be able to move this thing. So this has got one more day here. We'll get through everything we need to get through. That's absolutely important. And then I go clean up in the garage, make a spot for it, put it up on jack stands, and get everything apart, get these wheels and rims off. I'll bust these apart. I just ordered a big spoon. I should have ordered an even bigger one, but I ordered one that's pretty big. It's pretty long. Bust this stuff off. Clean up these rims. Get them treated. Paint will be coming. A little rusty metal primer on these guys. And then white. It's like an off-white. It's like a satin white. Like a Satan white. Alright. I'm out.
Nice, huh? Am I? Isn't that thing cool? I gotta choose the right thing. Well, we'll choose this one. I gotta move this to the top. Let me move you up to the top. Let me see what you guys do. Let me catch up. Everybody's saying, hey, Dolby, Francis. Hey, Francis Lang. Hey, Francis. Mel says, hey, made it. Dolby says, looks like the like Titanic recovery. Yeah. I would love to paint the muffler. I know, right? I have to paint for it. The paint that I have, like, I would like to acid etch the muffler first. Because that's what I like to do with things like that. It stays on for when I treat a muffler like that. I just wire wheel it quick, just to knock off this crap. Little super clean to get off, because this grease gets sucked in, and it just kind of gets all out of the way. Then a quick acid treatment, get it nice and dry, and then I spray that high temp stuff like what Mailhouse is using. And I have found through that method that you'll get about 3 years out of a muffler. And it'll just get a little darker and darker. And then if you want to repaint it, just wipe it off with some solvent and shoot some more paint on it again in 3 years. It keeps it nice. Like, it's not like shiny and mint like stainless forever, but it keeps it acceptable, right? Well, how crazy do you want to get? It's certainly not going to be rusty, but no, we're not going to be doing that. Maybe next time. I just want to hit a few key areas. Overall, it's like a refurbish kind of thing where I
get it up to a certain degree. Mine needs a little bit more paint underneath. I noticed because I was cleaning it. We'll see them in a minute. But I did do a little bit of paint to mine, but not a lot as well. I will eventually paint mine. But we're trying to get all of as much of the parts and components. There was a lot wrong. The videos will come out eventually. There was a lot wrong with it. The fellow that had it did no offense, but it did the farmer style fixes, and it was a mess. It was all wrong. It had to be undone. Things weren't working properly. And then I showed you that the electrical system fried. And it kind of sucks. Like I said, you put out I put out that generator video. Nobody's going to watch that. I'm not that kind of a channel, and they'll watch James or a few other people, but for the most part, electrical videos do not do well on anything, really. It doesn't matter. People don't want to watch them. They don't want to learn about electricity and all that stuff. They're like, oh, it's boring, Arch. We don't want to see that. You're talking about words, and nobody cares. Yeah, until you have to go find somebody to fix it. And I told him, I said, be careful. I said, I have to charge you, something for this, because this is higher end. People get paid very well for every hour, a couple $100 an hour to do electrical if they know what they're doing. So I had to make my own relay logic, and I still have one more thing to do because he actually found a seat switch. He thinks it might be the original. I might be able to use it. Rose says, speaking of motorcycles, I finally got that 69 Tron at Bonneville done. Nice. For my buddy Brad. I got to finish watching that series. Check out Johnny Bravo's series on that. That's pretty cool. He did some nice turning work, mill and lathe to fix this thing. And interesting, since I got out of my garage, he's been riding out of it this week. That's awesome. That's what it's for. Christmas Eve is that room looks like Tut's tube. I know, right? That's because it's dark in there. But it's a mess. It's an absolute mess, and it needs to be organized, and I need to utilize it better, and it shouldn't just be for storage. It can be it used to be a workroom, but it's now turned into crap. I'm not gonna get myself a motorcycle license. It's not gonna happen. I don't want to do that. There's no point. I've been through enough lost years with a broken back. If I would have fallen on a motorcycle, because there's two types of riders. There's those that have fallen and those that are about to fall. And at this age, I lost over 12 years of my life to this back injury, in the agony and the pain. I think I told you guys the story. The bus stop was across the street. I'd be out there in the snow and the rain on my knees at 7 o'clock in the morning because I couldn't stand up, and I was still trying to work. And the doctors, they don't know what to do. They didn't want to do surgery because they thought, well, if you're having to support your family and you're able to work, we don't want to touch you. Because there's a 50-50 chance it'll make you worse. And there's recovery time. And you're not going to be working. And, nightmare. So, no, I'm not. I just get rid of it. I'm just going to make it run, grab all the parts, and just so I can demo it. And then just put a price tag on it and get the heck out of here. Like I said, I can't move the damn thing. It doesn't move well. I don't know, maybe the brakes are jammed up or whatever. I really don't even want to work on it at this point now. I just lost interest. It's not mine anyway. It's really Mikey. He really wanted me to have it, but I'm like, no, Mike. This is the last thing I need. I can't get it in here to put it up on the table. There's rarely ever anybody around that would help me to do it. And then God help me if I try, getting it up the two ramps. I get it all the way around the yard and the dirt and the grass, and get it up the one ramp into the building, then the other ramp up onto the lift table. By myself, that's not going to happen. The way I can't even get it up. He and I tried to get up the little bump into the garage from the little apron that I have, and it was hard to move it. It doesn't want to move. So, I don't know. Probably jammed. I mean, it's probably the brakes are a little bit jammed. It's because it's been sitting. Mitch says, I watched the generator show and thought it was interesting. There you go. That's cool, Mitch. Thank you. That's, it is interesting. It's just, it's not most people's bag. Although, probably everybody that wants to watch generators in the whole entire world is probably watching James's show for the most part. Because why would you need to watch anybody else? It's not the kind of thing that, here, people don't buy generators here. They only buy them like everything else, like snow blowers and stuff, when they're afraid, like they're scared. You know, like if you get a storm's coming in, snow or otherwise, hurricane or otherwise, whatever, nor'easter or something, then they're like, oh crap, I guess I better go put something on the credit card and go get it. You know, we don't live, if you go upstate to like where my daughter is or Rhode Island, it's different mentality because they know what it's like. It happens more frequently. They get the snow, they get the storms. They don't get necessarily hurricanes per se, but they get the big storms. They get the power outages. They are more self-sufficient. They kind of get it. Around here, everybody's running around chasing after something. You know, they wait to the last minute. However, if you have a bunch, if you can, and you have the space for it, which most people down here don't, but if you have the space for it and you have a snowblower and a generator that you have working and you put them aside and you wait, then suddenly the whole pricing field changes. What do you want for it? I'm like, I remember one day I had this little piece of crap, little Toro, and the guy wanted to give me like $400-500 for this little piece of crap. I'm like, bro, it's not even running right. I'm trying to get it running. I'll take it now. And those kinds of offers are very limited time offers that people will give you. They are impulse. It's weird. It's just bizarre. Let me see what Tom's saying. Tom says, he goes, I quit riding mine 10 years ago when I had spine surgery. Yeah, you see? Now it's office art. Yeah, that's what I mean. So you know, bro. I know, you've mentioned it on your show a bunch of times. It would be nice to do it for sure, but for what I went through, it took me over 10 years to recover, 12 years. I don't have that much time left in life, right? Forget it. It's not worth it. That's the younger me. Right, Elizabeth came over one day. She looks at it. She goes, I forget what she said. You know, she just shook her head, you know, and smacked her lips. I'm like, no, it's not. I'm not gonna ride because I do stupid things, or at least I used to do really stupid things. And I think she was wondering, you know, the comments that she made. Oh, here we go again. Oh, great. You're gonna have one of those. Oh, this is great. This is great. No. I thought about it for a little bit. Oh, it would be good to tool around and everything. No. If anything, fellas, get an e-bike. Let me read a little bit and I'll hit you up with what I know. Let's see. Bro says, Crappo, I'm way older and all you guys are still riding. Yeah, good for you, bro. However, luckily I'm not battling back spine injuries. That's got to be... debilitating isn't even the word. It was pure agony. Like when I go for, like, I actually got to go back, but when I go into the neurologist, I'm like their wonder boy. And he's even said to me, why don't you tell the fellas a little bit more about what you've been through? I'm like, well, why? He's like, because people should know that there is a possibility that there's another side to it. Well, most people don't see it, but some do, right? Whether it's surgery or not. But it's quite a story. And they'll ask you, like, what's your pain level? And that's so subjective, but I like to tell them, like, look, it's a matter, right, these days it's a matter of discomfort. If level 10 is agony, if you want to rate it that way, it's not pain, it's agony. That's different. It's agony. And in fact, there were times when they would give me treatments and stuff, and he'd give me a hard time because they'd be screaming. Because there's sticking crap in there. Plus, I have a bad hip socket on my left side, and I got prolotherapy for that, which is interesting. It's a kind of like a saline sugar water combination. And what they do is they take a needle like this long, and they stick it in from your groin next to your testy ball, and all the way around, and they shove it into the socket area, and they push the syringe in. And what it does is it creates a little bit more inflammation, but what it did is it grabs the tissues, inflames them, so you're in even more pain, but then you build up like a scar tissue when you're working out, and it grabs the socket a little tighter. I gotta tell you, it's over 12 years, and it still gives me a little bit of a trouble, but I didn't need hip surgery. And I remember when I hurt my back, I was trying to tell them there's something wrong with my left hip socket. Nah, pain is a bad indicator of, and they give me all this. I'm like, look. So I went to my chiropractor one day and I said, just want you to do me a favor. I'm like, I'm going to lay down, and however you brace me, you got to hold my body, and then grab my ankle and my foot and give it a pull, and you're going to hear a pop. He gave me a hard time about doing this. He goes, well, we don't do stuff like that. I'm like, I don't care whether we don't do. Can you just humor me? And he did it, and his eyes lit up. He heard the pop, and my whole leg, like my pelvis, just, you know, he had an assistant hold my pelvis straight. And that's what the neurologist did. He had to call people in to do this. And every time everybody did it, they were like, that's not supposed to happen. Told you, nobody listens to the patient. So it wasn't just my spine. So I broke stuff. I wore stuff out and broke it. You know, but that actually worked. It helped. It was excruciating, but it you know, it worked, and it's better than surgery. You know, sometimes they have ideas, you know. Let's see, Krista says, I got an HD Street Bob sitting in my garage. I need it gone. Yeah. Maida says, I'm keeping an eye on a Coleman BU200 on an auction. Current bid is $40. Oh, that's not bad. It's good to have. I've got a good generator, by the way, out in the shed that I've had for a while. And when I first started doing a lot of this stuff again, I was like, well, target one. Let's get a generator. And I sold a bunch of them, but then I rebuilt one and modified it. And I'm like, well, you know, and I put nice wheels on it because I'm like, you got to move it across. It keeps it in the shed, and I got to move it over the yard. And I'm thinking, you want to be able to move it over the yard in snow, pouring rain, because it's probably when it's going to happen, some kind of storm, in muddy ground at 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, you got to think about all of that. So I got that nice big Briggs. It's on my channel. It's one of the earlier videos. And every year I start up. Now, when I start mine, I cleaned out the tank. The tank was a mess. You know, those big plastic tanks. I cleaned it out, washed it out, made it mint. Never put fuel in it. I have, like a lot of us, we have these little tanks that we use to run certain machines when, you know, you got crap in a tank or a tank is leaking or whatever. That's what, every year I just disconnect the hose to the main tank and I plug in my little portable tank. Now I got a couple of these portable tanks. Just clamp it, a vice grip it to the frame, fill it up with some fuel. And I like to put like a mix of like 2-stroke and, you know, fuel stabilizers in. And I just run it until it gets warm, dust everything off, make sure she's okay, run the fuel till it's out. It has a valve on it and a filter just in case, because the carb is all mint. And I just kind of run it until it's out, shut the valve off, and get it warm and check the oil. And like every couple of years, I'll change the oil on it. I check it, but because it is out in the shed. And like today, it's humid today, and you know, oil will go bad. You know, it's a refined product. It can go bad if you let it sit, especially if you have run it. If you run an engine for a little while and then the oil sits, it can go bad. You like generators, when you really need them, you know, you're going to put them to use hard. So if you have a generator, consider all of that. Don't just let it sit. Get it running good and try that. This is, Bravo says, I still ride my 2011 FXDWG, the dog. Yeah, nice. If, you know, even like with my Nova, I'm like, it got to the point around here where, like, you can't go anywhere anymore. Like, and now they made this turn circle, two turn circles down there with all the apartments and all the bars and all the restaurants. It's like no matter where you go, all you do is have stoplights and traffic, and there's like no good roads left anymore. It's like where my brother lives down in North Carolina. Like, there's like and also where my other friend, there's like 1 million people there. A huge place, you know, space. And you just drive out of town and there's, you know, Nova roads, there's hot rod roads, there's good riding. Where I am, I could trip out my front door, right, and fall on 1 million people, like several million people, like literally right in front of me. Like, they're all over the place now. When I first came out here, if you wanted to go shopping, you know, any given day, you pull up into the parking lot, you know, decent sized parking lot or like a local shopping center. And you're like one of like 10, 15 cars. Park where you want, you know. And You go in, you do your shopping. Hey, how you doing? You know, you walk out. Now it's like, good luck finding a spot. It's back to where I came from in Nassau County. It's like that there. It's like the city. It's horrible. Mitch says, I ride mine 15 minutes a month. That's good. That's excellent. Barbara says, out of New York, man. Come on down south. Yeah, I just heard, by the way, down in your neck of the woods, Johnny, the big brass works, just after 100 years, they gave up. Belly up. What was the name of that company? You know, they made all the brass fittings and everything, all the brass stuff. This country's in bad shape, fellas. So, yeah, with everything that's going on, if those of us that are a little older remember the OPEC horror. And that was only a few million barrels of oil that we were down. And on top of that, right, we had inflation and all the other shit. And it was crushing to the economy. And we were waiting on lines to get to, 2 gallons of gasoline. Lines, people were running out of gas. And you say, well, they were bigger cars. There was a lot less people here in this country. 1964, when I was born, there was, about 150 million people. There's like almost 350 million people in this country now. In those days, we had jobs. There was manufacturing. We don't have any jobs here anymore. In those days, the economy was not as bad. In those days, the inflation was nowhere near. The dollar was not as devalued. We didn't have $34 trillion of debt. We didn't have all of this crap. So if the crap that's going on in the Middle East happens again and they close down like the Strait of Hormuz, like they're threatening, or right now, one of those groups, I think it was the Yemenis, whatever, they're taking pot shots. They're shooting at any ship now. They're supposedly they had like an arrangement with even the Russians and the Chinese. Nope, they're shooting at them too. They're like, out of hell with it. We got guns. We're just going to start shooting. Like, this is getting bad. Get yourself, I'm not kidding, if you can afford it, go out and get yourself one of them little electric-powered motorbikes and maybe even a hybrid vehicle. Because those of us that remember those days, and I was young, but I remember sitting online, pushing cars. That was when everybody gave up all their bigger cars, right, to get these little squeeze boxes. My father bought 2 Austin Americas. And my sister wrecked one, and then my brother kind of destroyed the other. But he had his brown one for a while. The white one was a nice one. That was the one my sister wrapped around a pole over by the fire department. Anyway, just saying, fellas, I hope I'm wrong. Seriously hope I'm wrong. But, things aren't good. So a hybrid would be nice. For sure. I mean, they're pretty decent. They're expensive. Price aside. That's another story. But they're pretty decent. Some of them are pretty nice. I've driven one. I think it was a Toyota or something. I forget. I don't remember. All these things look the same to me. All of these cars today, when I look at them, I'm like, meh. They all kind of, some of them look all right. Some of them are kind of neat. One of you guys that were hanging out at Kansas, they were talking about that truck with the 4-cylinder. I'm like, yeah, twin turbo. So what? Let's see, Crispus says, things are really bad, to say the least. I know. Arab oil embargo, yeah. Yeah, Drava was in college then, yeah. So, and that was only like 6 million barrels here. It was like 6% of there were 2 incidents that I remember. And I heard some more statistics recently about that, because you could just go look it up. But it was only between 3, depending upon the incident, because there were 2, between 3 and 6% oil reduction coming into the United States. That's all it took. It's how fragile. We use something like 63% of the oil and gasoline in the world, in this country. Generally speaking, we use the bulk of it, which is why they're coming after us for everything, right? They're trying different ways of doing it, taxes, claiming it's climate, sea change and whatever. It's all about money, really. It's control and money. Meanwhile, all these wars, I'm sure these wars are very environmentally friendly. Oh, yeah, but we're the problem. Yeah, you and me. Yeah, we got to pay for everything. And I'm trying not to be political because everything is political. When you're an adult, everything is political. At the end of the day, it's how you're going to get to work, how are your customers going to pay you, how are you even going to have customers, how are you going to get food, how are you going to do stuff. So I was looking at some e-bikes. I'm like, they're a little pricey, but I like the big fat tire ones and stuff. And that I could see as a backup emergency. And you're definitely going to want some kind of a solar system to charge it in the event. I mean, I really would like to get a solar system for here anyway. Just to run a number of things that I know I can run. Because I ran 2 generators during Hurricane Sandy, and they were pieces of crap. And I had to use one to fix the other. Right? Because I had to run one generator in here to have enough power so I could see what the hell I was doing to fix the other one. And then we ran 2 homes. Monkey Wrench is all into cheap solar. Yeah, good. Need it. Cheap solar. Oh, by the way, shout out. So, what is it? The company Vivor hit me up. They want to work with me. I haven't answered them back yet. But I was like, that might work. Vivor's got a lot of nice stuff. They actually do have a lot of nice stuff. I don't know who the hell makes it, but Renegade works with Vivor. A lot of YouTubers work with Vivor because you can see some of their stuff is pretty good. So I haven't answered them yet. And then a couple of these battery companies, these solar companies have asked me about some stuff, but I just haven't had time. I don't want to make any commitments I can't keep, and I don't know if they're going to work in the channel that I'm working, that I have. Anyway, it's not a rush. And if they're impatient, then they can go somewhere else. And I don't want to turn this into a tool channel because that's just not my bag. But some of the tools, I want things that I would use, that I can use, that I like, that work, that last. I'm still using that electric pressure washer. And I show it from time to time to let everybody know that years later I'm still using it and still working. I like it because for a lot of these motors, these little jammy motors, they're kind of sensitive to too much pressure. And, I take the springs off. Generally, I remember to do that, the carburetor springs and everything. I take anything that I think that might blow off, disappear into the lawn. But just in general, you don't need a big, heavy muscle pressure washer to wash a lot of these machines. Some of them you do. Some of them, that's when I take out the bigger pressure washers. But for a lot of this little detail work that I like to do, it's simple, it's easy. You just pick it up, you chuck it out there, you run a cord, you run your hose. And another thing, too, is it's quieter. And then when you let go of the handle, you don't hear anything. So it's actually kind of nice to have that, especially if you're doing a bunch of little steps and things, and psh, and then it's quiet and you're done, and you do a little something, you take something off, and you can wander around the yard and do something else, grab something eating, and come back and psh. It's kind of nice, I gotta say. Some of the electric stuff is pretty cool. We can learn to incorporate it. We all embraced. I still use a lot of pneumatic tools because they're powerful. But it's nice having the electric stuff. Let's check out this other thing. I want to show you my machine kind of lifting his machine. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, I gotta find it. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, this is a fun day. It was 2 days ago. I was exhausted when I was done though. Let's see, is this it? This might be it. Let's kind of roll through it. Yeah, mine's a little higher. Let me it's quiet though. It's nice. Let me set it up. I'll turn it down, so I don't want you guys to hear all of it yet. Hey, I'll scroll while you guys are here. Watch it. I'll try not to make you too dizzy. I'm getting 1680. 1680. I need. Let's see what she revs up to. Yeah, there we go. That's his engine, right? No, is that that's my engine. All right, with all of the fairings on it. So yeah, we let's see. That's fooling around with oil. And I'll kind of put out a quick video on it. Where are we? Is that it? Might be the day before? No, I think I did this all in one day, didn't I? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's kind of fun. Let's see if we can lift it up. You gotta get it in real tight. See, wait till you see the smoke. Hold on. You see what I'm saying? Oh, the girl's bellowing smoke. Yeah, she's got a bad slug. There we go. That's about as high as it will get it. I need more height. I can't, if I push it out too far, it's not strong enough. Remember, this tractor weighs 1,000 pounds. There we go. There's the smoke. Yeah, then it got it. Oh, she's a puffer. I just changed the oil, too. Yeah, it's up now. Too loud. Yeah, I turned it down a little bit. That's about as much leverage as I'm going to get out of that. That's good enough. I'm going to get underneath there and do my thing. Yeah, that's cool. Hold on, let's see if there's anything else. That's Big Mike's tractor. Is there anything else that I did? No, I think that's it. I mean, there's some other stuff here, but... yeah, that's cool. They're so beefy. Let's see. That's nice. Oh, I gotta get some air in the tires. Then we'll bring it in. Well, not one tire. Yeah, she's a cool tractor. Those Kohler Magnums run so nice and so strong. All right, that's it. Let me come back. That's it. Let's see. 8-tip mini. Shut that off. Hey, Mark. What's going on? Let's see. My ultrasonic is it? Brett says his ultrasonic is a Vivo. Yeah, it seems like. It seems like that, like a lot of stuff that we would like to use, Vivor actually has, and seems to be pretty good quality. I don't know about return policies or anything like that, warranties. That's what I want to look into. But you know, Brett's got his little ultrasonic. Bravo says, yeah, Vivo is a big company, do a lot of stuff. I put one of their motors on my aging Craftsman table saw. It definitely woke that thing up. Nice. Uncle Mark says, hey. Maida says, I tried working with Vivo and they turned me down. Maida says, shop talk with Brett, Uncle Mark, so I want to fix the channel. Hello. Yeah, I mean, I've asked a number of companies. Oh, Big Mike's here. He says, what's up, fellas? Have you been watching, Mike? Did you miss your tractor? Because I've been playing tractor. You can always rewind it. You know, you can actually rewind it in the live, I think, too. You can just scoot back. Yeah, it says I have a Vivor mechanics stool. There's a lot of products. He just got home, he said. Yeah, back it up more towards the beginning. I literally just finished. He says he just got home. He says, hey to everybody. Big Mike. But, nice. Yeah, just like, with the rear forward, rewind. But it seemed like a good company. Of course, it's going to be made in China. I mean, this is the world we're in. Like, what are you going to do? But if the quality is there, I was watching Watch West work, and he did a thing on sharpening drill bits by hand, and it did okay. He said it didn't do all that great, but while he was on the subject, the next episode, he's like, well, I want to do the drill doctor. And it doesn't work that well. And he showed why. Of course, he's very bright. Like, he's very technical. And then he had something underneath a rag. And I'm looking, and I'm going, I'm like, there's something underneath that rag. That's like so me. It was a Vivor drill bit sharpener, and he really liked it. And he was showing how it is a nice machine. Something to consider if you the kind of person that like Johnny's got like a little machine shop in his garage. I mean, sharpening bits, although some of his bits are going to be a bit odd, so not everything. But for like a lot of the jobber bits or the shorter bits and things like that you're going to be using, I mean, you need something to sharpen them. I use my stone, but I need a new stone because it's just beat. Because I learned by hand, like from the Greeks back in the day. Brett says, well, Arch, tomorrow I grow another year old. Oh, happy birthday, brother. How many years? How many years now has it been since you've been born? And tell the truth. Well, you don't have to tell the truth. You could lie. You could gaslight us. So let's find out how old Brett's going to be tomorrow. Nice. But yeah, I think, it'd be interesting and fun. The one thing that they were showing me, because you kind of, a lot of those companies, they want you to review something that they want you to review. I have a couple others that I need to get out. That's why I didn't say anything yet, because I haven't even gotten the other 2 reviews done yet. One of the fellows I was watching, when you get a little bit bigger, you have a little bit more leeway. And he was like, look, I'll do reviews for certain companies, but I tell them, you can send me the stuff. When I get to it, I get to it. If there's no contract, because there are people that you can go under contract where some of these people make $1,000, $1,500 per contract, and you have to do certain number of videos in a certain time frame. It's like any other contract. You have to agree to it. You don't have to. You don't have to do the work either. So if it's good product, but he's like, yeah, just I'll have it here and when I'm ready. And that's kind of like what I do with like Hipa and some of the other companies. I tell them like, look, if you want me to work with you, I'll work with you. If I like the product, if there's a problem with it, I'm going to be honest. Personally, I really don't want problems with the products. I really would like products that I use and can stand by. I mean, occasionally something happens with every product, but I'm not interested in being part of your development team and showing people that. Although there's a lot of products I showed that have not been good, and I say it. When there's something wrong, I say it, and I come back to it. If the company makes good on it, I come back to it, and I say it. But I really just want the stuff that is usable, that we can use, that we can rely on and trust. And the rest of it, I don't care. And it's just like the bottom line, and it's when I get to it. This one, I want to put headlights in my van, and I got to actually work on the van. I got some stuff to do. But I was like, send it, and I'll put it in when I can. And they sent it, and then the weather turned bad, like all winter long. Like the weather was shite this winter. We had a winter. And I'm like, well, that's not going to happen until at some point, maybe September or something. It's just not going to happen. So, yeah. That's funny. 57 tomorrow. Bravo says, shit, got milk in my fridge older than you. That's not milk, Johnny. That's Mold Farm. Yeah, that's not milk anymore. Right? Mark says, I have a few companies wanted a review, but I have not been interested in their products. If it was a useful product, I would. Yeah, absolutely. And this thing, one of the things they wanted me to review was, you guys know what it is, right? It picks up grass and leaves, and it's got a hopper in the back, like a bag hopper, big open hopper, and you just push it along your lawn. And I thought, I think I want that. That would be nice, because I've used the Toro, Time Master, and a few other things, and even my snapper. I don't have the mulching blade set up on it, and it just discharges out to the side, and then there's the leaves in the back, right? Constantly, like the black walnut, it's the first to drop its leaves. It's the last to get its leaves, and then it gets all these walnuts. And I'm like, I wonder if it would pick up some of the walnuts too. So, that might be something that we might be interested in if you have a smaller yard and you just want to neaten things up. Like sometimes even the Honda. Like I used the Honda today, Brett, because I've been using the snapper and I've been using the Time Masters, and he, Contractor Mike keeps forgetting to, I keep forgetting to ask him, and he keeps forgetting to give me the mulch plug. And it's just pukes all over the lawn. And then, we have the mud room, but we're bad. We don't take our shoes off. We should, because that's really what the mud room is for. So the kitchen's right outside of the mud room. So, I cut the lawn, and then it will rain a little bit, whatever, and you track in grass and garbage all through the house. So it might be nice to kind of clean up a few areas with this thing. It doesn't look like it takes up much room. If it's decent and not too heavy, it has to be heavy enough. Of course, once it starts getting grass in it, it'll be heavy. But those wheels got to get traction, because it would be really frustrating to push this stupid thing and the wheels don't spin the hopper. So I think I'm going to say yes, and let's check it out. I think it could be useful, definitely. Skim across a few areas. Maybe it'll pick up the walnuts. Maybe we can modify it to pick up the walnuts. That might be cool. So I like stuff like that. And I think some of these companies, they'll try to think about, some of them do look at your channel. A lot of them don't. A lot of them will send you these messages. Oh, we've looked at your channel. We think it's awesome. And we want to work with you. And now you're diving. Yeah, it's all auto. Now it's probably all of these responses from the AI checking you out and everything. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah. Wait. Hold on. Wait. This is good. He says, Driver says it makes awesome cornbread. And Brett's like, ugh, you can have it. Yeah, the lawn sweeper. Yeah. Mark says, had a couple of scan tool companies wanting reviews, but of low-level stuff. Some of them I already own. Why would a review tool I already own? Yeah, absolutely. Unless they send cash. I'll review cash. Yeah, some of those scan tools and stuff you got to watch out for. In fact, there more recently, a couple of fellows that I watch, one guy out west or south, I think he's in Nevada. He reviewed something like that, and the company sued him because he gave an honest review and didn't like it. His first review of the product was okay, and then he used it for a little while. I don't know if it was a battery or something like that. And he used it out there. He's got a channel, a decent piece of property, and he's retired like a lot of us. He's still doing stuff, and he does some 4x4 and life outside kind of thing. And he said something like the jostling and everything kind of screwed it up. So he talked about it. He didn't bash the company. He just gave this other. They sued him. And a whole bunch of other YouTubers came out in his defense and we're going to sue you now. We're going to sue the company. Oh, it was beautiful. But I don't want to get involved in that crap. If I want to give an honest review, and I don't want to get sued, damn it. Because that's what they'll do. They'll come after the little guy. No. But I don't think Vivor is like that. I've never heard anything bad about Vivor. So, that's the thing there. I'd be happy to review a Haas CNC mill. Yes. Bring it in, Mac. Beep, beep, beep. Yeah, a little more to the right. Yeah, all right, hold on. All right, drop it there. Oh, whoa. But forward. Yeah. Bring that in, all right? Oh, I so want that Atlas that you have. I so want stuff like that. I love that. That was some. So check out Johnny's channel. He's got. I like those. That what do they call those mills? Like the knee, not knee action, but. He's got that knee something. I don't remember. It's. I'm not a machinist, but I love those things. I could definitely use some of those right now in my garage. I would give up my garage space to bring in some of that equipment. Absolutely. He says, I have a review. Brother says, I'm hopefully going to get my Snapper rear engine rider back. Really, bro? Where's it been? Man, that's been a while now. At this point now, you know what? Robert's doing so much better with his channel, and I've said this last week. I think in a way it's good that they kind of got screwed over a little bit because it forced you to have to learn how to do it yourself, and you're doing a good job. Try it yourself first, and then if you really get into trouble, then give it to a mechanic. Instead of going the other way around, right? Because what are you going to do? You screw it up? Okay. Somebody will fix it. But what if you fix it? And now suddenly you don't need the mechanic. And every time you fix something, you learn more, right? So you get better and better, like you've been getting. You've been cranking out some nice stuff. I'm gonna save that. I get that last little bit. Mike, he's like, Big Mike. That's me. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So I want to review stuff that we can really use, and I think that grasshopper might be nice. The grasshopper, all right? Grasshopper, come here, grasshopper. Yeah, I would miss it too. Mark says, I told them one scanner I had on the next level one, I would review if sent, but it's an expensive tool so far. They're not biting. Yeah. Yeah, because you want to review the better stuff. Hipa reached out, Brett says to me once. I turned him down. No, you should work with Hipa. They're good now. They're good. I could tell, because I know the people that work, and the one fellow that I work with, they have people in country that speak English, that work hard, and they take care of business. And that's my experience with Hipa. And they keep getting better. And they're slowly fixing because I've been complaining about their website. And is slowly fixing that. It's getting better. So things that, I'm willing to work with people that are willing to work with me that are trying to do the right thing. Bottom line, the world that we live in now is fraught with horror, and I get it. But a lot of these companies, they're in a position that America was once in. But not anymore. That's a whole nother political story. But they're in that position, and a lot of these people are just people, and they're just trying to make a living, and they want to try to do the right thing. And a lot of them are actually interested in doing what they're doing. Like, they're trying to make decent products. So when I find companies that are like that, I'll put up with some of the little idiosyncrasies and deal with it. And if they're supportive of me and patient, and the product overall is good, and then lately Hipa stuff has been very good. And I get it pretty quick, and I leave some of it on the shelf. In fact, I just used one of their plugs, right? I think I showed was in the video. I think it was in the video I just released. I don't know. I forget. They've got so many of these damn things going on. And I tried it before. I tried a couple of their plugs they tried to get me a bunch of them. I'm like, no, I don't want to be. I'm not buying them. Well, it was like $1. I'm like, I don't care what it is. Send me a few. I'll put them out in some of my machines. And I'll run them for a little while and see how they are. I'm not going to start. I don't know anything about them. Because some of these plugs suck. I'm not saying Hipa's plugs suck, but, there was some of these weirdo plugs saving fuel. There's even a Briggs plug. Not a Briggs plug. On one of the Briggs engines, they came out with, I forget what it's called. It's a Champion plug, but it's got this big porcelain bulbous thing that blocks the whole socket, and they suck. I get rid of them. They just don't work well, and it's a Champion plug. I don't talk about it. I think I should just make a video on it, honestly. I never think to do that, because that would be a good short. Then, just don't use, if you find one of these Champion plugs, get rid of it. Just use the regular part number or whatever, they're better. They just did something with the center, the porcelain on the center electrode. They made it like a blob mushroom thing, and it covers, shit gets caught behind it, which when the carbon carbon is conductive. So if too much gets on it, the plug basically shorts out or loses performance. I don't know what they were trying to do with this thing. It's a shit design. And I still see them around. I don't know if they still sell them. I haven't looked into it. That's why I didn't make a video. I'm like, this sucks. Get it out of here. I'm usually, at that point, if a plug is giving me a hard time, I grab another plug and be done with it, and I don't want to think about it or make a video. I just want to keep moving forward. So Mark says, lend me a new Mustang Charger or electric Ford truck for 6 months. Maybe a four-wheel drive. I know. But the big people get that. The big people get it. Now, if Simpson reached out to me to review one of their high-end 4000 BO, that's why I keep telling you to do that expose that you haven't done, lazy bastard. If you do stuff like that more often, they might reach out to you. I keep yelling at him to do this thing with his Simpson pressure washer and lay everything out. Don't just do a wash. Right? Lay everything out, go through it, because Brett, you do good presentations. Get up off your ass and do it, damn it. He's like, yeah, when I get back from the church thing, I'm going to do it. Yeah, when I go this year, I'm going to do it. Yeah, the year's almost over, bro. Especially the pressure washing season. Where is it? I'm waiting for that video. I'm not seeing it. Okay. I don't have my watch on, so if I have my watch, I used to do that to my boss. I'd tap on the crystal. He'd be on the phone. And he was so, you think I'm long-winded? He would just get into this with these effing customers. I'm like, bro, we have stuff to do. And I would just grab my watch and one of my nails that was long enough, and the tapping sound. And I would just, while he was on the phone, I'd just sit there and go. You gotta get off the phone, bro. I need you. I know the feeling now. Yeah, the E3 is another one. The Diamond E3 is garbage. That's different, though. That's a torch. This is, I wonder if I have it. Let me just take a quick look. I don't think I saved one. I don't know if you'd even see it. Yeah, I don't know. I remember seeing one. Nah, what I'll do is, I got a lot of used plugs that I keep around, decent ones, because I saved the nice used ones. And for a while, what I was doing is, I have a whole bunch of motors down there, I have a whole bunch of motors outside, and a lot of times what I'll do, I don't know why, but what was happening was, I would check some of these motors out, and you pull the plug, you do some stuff, and then I'm like, oh shit, I can't leave them like this, I gotta put a plug in. So I would save, like, because, I don't throw anything away. If it's the least bit halfway decent, I'm like, well, just let me grab a plug and shove it in there. This way, no matter where I put it, and then even for a little while, I was trying to tape up or put caps on, the carburetor or whatever. And what I found the problem is if you leave a motor outside, where I am, with a bag on it, and even if you tape it or whatever, I was outside on an old Craftsman tractor. I'm like, oh crap, I gotta pull those bags off. Stuff gets in and then it sits with that moisture in there. I'm like, well, that's not working. But a cap over a hole, a plug in a plug hole, things like that I've learned to do and put them away. And I got one of those really nice old classic 3.5 horsepowers that's in good shape out there. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm not ready to bring it in. So I got the bright idea of pouring used oil over it. And you think, well, that's gross. No, because I feel bad. You can't just let them sit out. Like, it's raining again. It's all humid. They turn to shit. So there's a lot of motors I have on a rack over there. And like, what I really need is a rack, and I might pull that little tent thing, what's left of that tent thing down on the side of my shed. I need a little roof out of like fiberglass or something, like a little extension roof, and someplace that gets some sun, and stack some of those motors outside where they can, if they get wet, that's fine. I'm not necessarily going to have rain pouring on them, but then they're exposed to the air and they're exposed to the sun. And that way they might survive a little bit longer, because I can't keep everything inside. I can't. The space is it's too important. I do have some motors in here. I have some motors shoved up in that area I showed you in the shed. Like, but I have too many. I even have some in the basement, the other basement. I even have some down in this basement. I'm like, where am I going to put all this stuff? What I need is like a Quonset tent. The domed roof, because the wind back there, Juan gave me another tent like I had, and it's a peaked roof tent. It'll fly away. And then we'll get heavy snows and it'll collapse. I need a Quonset tent. That's over nowadays like $2,000. Yeah, shoot. My last review was the flashlight. Yeah, the flashlight was nice. That's a nice flashlight. A little expensive, but it's a nice flashlight. So I don't mind doing reviews. Like, that flashlight's a good review, and like I said, it's a little expensive, but it's a nice flashlight. I like the magnet, like this one has, but this is not a good flashlight. Oh, not bad. What I liked about your flashlight, Brett, is, and I noticed it, and I mentioned it, is it doesn't strobe with the camera. This one does, but this one, I think it's Infinity X1. Nice aluminum. Got the magnet in the bottom. What I like is it aims down this way. It's very bright. It is set up for a seatbelt cutter and a windshield breaker. So, that's really what it's for. But as a general work light, it's very heavy. But the magnet is strong enough to support it and on anything metal, and I use it a lot, but it strobes. That's the one bad thing. So if I'm using it, for a video or whatever, it's going to strobe, but I'm not too happy with that. So I need to find something like this, but that is, where the quality is better and it's more for photography. And, there's plenty of them out there. Just that one, my brother actually gave me that one. And then he gave another one to my daughter. So I'm like, that's perfect for her. I wonder if she still has it. Christina, are you still there? Do you have this flashlight? Do you have it? What'd you do with it? Where is it? Is it dead? The battery's dead? Yeah, he goes, Preston's like, it carry with me everywhere. Yeah, of course. Yeah, but your phone is a flashlight too. So these days we already have things that do like multiple, but you don't want to use your phone to light something if you can avoid it. Like if you're working on something, or you don't want to use your phone for that. You want something that if you drop it or whatever. Like this thing drops all the time, and nothing happens to it, and it's heavy. And it's just maybe the plastic. I think this is plastic. It's like a high impact plastic. It's got a few scratches on it, but it doesn't. And the only thing that I don't like about it is what I don't like about these is they're multifunction. So when you first turn it on, okay, not bad. But a lot of times with these is they want to go into their multifunction. This is the second brightness. Now, it kind of learns your behavior, and then that's the spot, which is great for looking down gas tanks and valves. But I really don't want that. I don't need infrared, and I don't want the blinky epileptic light. I mean, that's good because when you're in a car or whatever and you're having a problem, it's universal. But a lot of that stuff I don't want. I just want, a good light. Yeah, the strobe feature. Yeah, it could trigger a seizure, absolutely. But it's meant to be for signaling people. So, yeah, so I got a lot done. I was exhausted. I took yesterday off because I just overdid it. I did too much, and then I was in pain. But what'll happen is you get in with back pain and stuff like that. It'll freak your brain out, and your brain just doesn't want to do anything. Like I was telling Mike, he's like, I'll come over. I'm like, Mike, I'm having a hard time just watching YouTube today. I actually took a nap yesterday, a long one. I passed out on my back, which I don't usually sleep on my back, but it was nice. And then I cut the lawn with the Honda today because it needed a good mulching, because the snapper cuts too low. I didn't want the lawn that low, and it pukes out to the side. I want to set it up like Ken has it with the mulching blade and, make the block-off plate for the side. But that's next season, because we have the boots to do and a few other things. So that's next season, but it's just been puking all over the lawn. And then the toros were puking all over the lawn, and it was starting to get matted in areas. You know how it gets. I was like, you know what it needs? I've been raising it up a little bit. I don't want to use the snapper again because it'll be too low again. I'm like, it needs the Honda. It needs a good mulching, and then I'll water, and that'll almost guarantee that it'll rain tonight, and that's what happened. It rained. So lately, as I've been cutting it, right, and I told you guys I did I lowered everything down, right, to get a good cut, to get up some of that dried nonsense from the heat, but it's been raining after my cuts. Now this is 3 weeks in a row, and it's really helping the lawn out. Like, that's score. So going into the cooler months, I think I'm going to wind up with a nice, fat, thick, lush green lawn again, because it's not as dead, except for where I work, and also underneath the walnut tree. It tends to die. So that whole area right there, I want to put down some of that matting and just drop rock and sand down there and let work. This way I can work over there, because the only problem with that is with the problem with the sand and the gravel, or like item number whatever, is the tree makes a mess. And it drops walnuts. And it makes an absolute mess. So, I don't know what to do with it. Because it's a mess right now. I had to grind it all up and rake it. My concern is with sand and rock or whatever I put, it's just going to be an absolute mess. And then how do you get it out? It's just bad. It kills the lawn after a while. And then it's going to drop its tennis balls. So I don't know what to do with that area back there. Other than concrete is probably your only bet. And that costs money. I don't have that kind of money. Let's see the strobe feature. Yeah, let's see. Big Mike. He goes, use the rubber. Yeah, you could use the rubber. Yeah, Mike gave me a lot of rubber. You could, but the rubber doesn't drain, though. And if the ground is, you're going to get puddles. The other thing I was thinking is just put down that fabric. Just the fabric. The black fabric that drains. Just the fabric. You can work on it for a time. Walk all over. Because I know a lot of homesteaders that use the fabric in a lot of places. They use the heavy fabric, and they use it in a lot of areas where they just want to control the dirt and dust and the horror, and they don't want a lot of crap growing through it, and you can kind of sweep it off. And if it starts to go, you just put some more on top of it. The only thing is that the tables and things like that will puncture it eventually, but it's hard to say. The rubber is neat, but when it rains, it's going to pool, it's going to puddle. It's a thought. It's a thought. It has the white light, green laser, and the UV light. Yeah, yours has all those extra features. That really bright one is nice. Rob says, I just got a Pittsburgh 3-ton floor jack. Yeah, I heard you guys talking about in the Dayton 3-ton jack stands. Battery load tester. Did you get the nice battery load tester? Which one did you get? The newfangled one or the old school carbon pile? I actually want both. But I also need, Ken had mentioned that he likes those aluminum low-profile jacks. That's what I want to get for my daughter's car because I can't get my bigger jack underneath her car. You need those really low-profile jacks for that. So that's on the list. Let's see, what does Big Mike say? It's like he just goes like, just use the rubber. Yeah, use your rubber. Use your rubber. Yeah, that's a decent amount of rubber too. I might just try that. What's the worst that's going to happen? You just pick it up, clean it off, and try something else. Yeah, I got to get that out. She said Duralast battery load tester. Yeah, but is it the carbon pile or is it the electronic one? I don't know Duralast. It's a good name, but let's see if I have anything else I want to show you guys. Because I really haven't had time to prepare anything. I had barely enough time to get out another video. And I've been trying to get done, because we're so close to getting done with Mike's tractor. And contractor Mike hit me up. He goes, I want to show you this. Yeah. I'll show you this. This is another little side project. But remember, I was telling you guys we had all those electrical issues, and I just got done upgrading the house last year or a year before, and I had a fix out here, right? Because the transformer can, I've had problems with for years, and I kept calling them and telling them, the power company, I'm like, when are you going to replace this thing? It's going to blow up. Well, it blew up. Well, let me show you, right? This happened to a number of these things. Trying to set my house on fire. Fortunately, I was here, and it set my neighbor's air conditioner across the street on fire, a bunch of other shit, damaged one of my breaker panels, blew out a whole bunch of electronics. Let me show you this thing. So be careful, right? Speaking of electrical and generators, let me put my headset on. So I'm going to clean this thing up and kind of, because I need something. I'm like, I'll just make a little project out of this. Well, what are we looking at? Well, first of all, let's look at that side. Now, this is from when a transformer blew up on a pole. This is one of the things that got set on fire. And every single one of these outlets split
from...
It's supposed to be a surge protector.
And even though it blew out, it still went on fire. That was a big power jump. Oh, it screwed up a lot of things. I just wanted to take a peek in there. I guess we'll cut this off. This might be useful. I might just put a circuit breaker in here and some more outlets and wire it up, because I could definitely use something like this. I mean, it's already there. If I can get this apart.
Yeah. I'll get a closer look. Hold on. Look.
Wow. I'll set your house on fire. It almost did. Let's get this stuff cleaned up. And then I go find some stuff that I want to put in there. Oh, wait, here. Here's a closer look. Yeah, bros.
Yeah, huh?
Alright. So we got pretty good so far. So I found 3 of these. I got myself a lamp. We got the strain relief. I got a 10 amp circuit breaker, although it did not have the little nut on the end, and the only nut I could find as close as this one. I'm going to have to drill it out and try to put some threads on it. Or we'll hot glue it in. You could do that. It was not going to go anywhere. I did find a nice on-off switch. I cleaned it out. That's not bad there. We've got the original cord, which I cleaned off. And so next time I go and do this, I'll finish it up, but it's getting late. Oh, I almost forgot. Got a little 120 volt lamp that's been sitting around from Radio Shack from God knows how many years ago.
Yeah.
Right, and that'll go here. All right, hopefully we can fit it all in. That might be a tough one.
I'll get it
we'll
in.
Figure it out.
I'll get it in. So, can you imagine? Now, I had a whole bunch of them blow out. And that day, I was running around the shop and the house, in and out, upstairs, downstairs, pulling these things out of the wall with the fire extinguisher. Don't ever put curtains or anything like that near any of this shit. And that's supposed to be a surge protector. Oh, yeah, great. You see how it blew those outlets apart? Blew them apart. And a lot of these things are in plastic. I mean, they would be on fire. That one was at least in metal. A lot of them were just fried. Most of them were thrown out, but I saved that one because it was in a metal housing. And I'm like, I always need outlet things. Like, they got them all over the place. Extension cords of every type. This shit's dangerous. You know, I mean, we take it for granted. And I think I was talking about that a couple of weeks ago or whatever. Like, we take a lot of this stuff for granted. This stuff will set your house on fire. Right? I mean, I have got a sine wave backup, battery backup over here from Opti UPS. I got another one, an APC or whatever. I forget what it is, down here on top of it. I've got one in the house. Even those things can pop when you get a surge from a transformer. God knows, there was a whole bunch of electronic stuff that blew out. And, you know, I got some money from the insurance company, but, you know, they raise your rates. Coffee, yeah. It says, I got in today the wireless mics for my video camera. Oh, nice. A test will be out soon. Oh, did you actually work on it and test out the mics? Nice. Robert says, it has the red, green, and yellow display to show the battery state of life and charge. Okay, yeah, it's electronic, most likely. I like the carbon pile testers, too, because you can actually load the battery down and then measure it, like with a real load. I'm not sure how they do it any other way. Like, I'm not really sure what goes on inside those electronic things. But they try to measure something inside the battery. And they're supposedly pretty good. I mean, I've never used one. I just see people use them. I don't have one. I would like to get a load tester. An actual carbon pile load tester. And they get hot because you're really putting a real load on the battery. And if one of the cells is starting to crap out, it'll fail. So, let's see. Johnny Rose says, those UPSs can have aging batteries that will expand and catch on freaking fire. Yup. I had a 2500 VA rack mount. This one, that's what this one is. One I had a few years ago. Yup. Yeah, and you roast marshmallows on it. Duralast, yeah, it's the AutoZone brand. This one I rebatteried, and I was going to put a video out on that too, but it's not really for this channel, you know. I rebatteried it last year. So I've had it for a number of years. I had another one that was, it was, oh, what do you call those things? I can't think of the name of it. It basically goes from AC back to DC and then back to AC again. And it's a full inverter style. That one kind of burned out on me, and at the time with everything that was going on in my life, I'm like, I don't have time to fix this. In fact, I don't even really have the equipment anymore, and I more recently burned out my good meters, so now I need to get another good meter. So I need tools for all of this stuff, which I don't have, and you know, until I'm ready to buy all these tools, there's no point in keeping some of this stuff around. I should have kept it. I should have just shoved it somewhere, but I wasn't sure if I was even going to stay here. You know, on Long Island. I'm still not really sure. Because of everything that's going on. I don't know if you guys have seen what's going on in the city and everything. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And it's happening on a regular basis. And eventually it'll happen here. You know, we're not all that far away from like Manhattan and Brooklyn and all that. It's just getting nuts. Like, this is the world that, you know, we're living in. Like, I just want to get away from it. But what are you going to do? So I've just been trying to like keep up with everything that's going on. But you can't do anything about it other than leave. And even if you leave, you have to go to some place that is not going to be targeted for something else. And I'm too old to keep moving. So you have to pick a spot that's going to actually be a place where you can survive. I mean, fortunately, where I am, it's not as bad, but who knows how long that will last. I don't think it'll be a big problem here. But we are on an island. That is a problem in and of itself. So, I don't know. Sometimes you just get stuck somewhere. And now, like if I were to sell, yeah, I'd make good money. But every other place is ridiculously expensive. They just rated my home for, I think it was $514,000. That's over a little over $500,000. It's not worth that. That's insane. Yeah, now it's worth so much that my daughter can't afford to buy one. Oh, that's good. Real smart. So now all these young kids, you know, youngins, they can't afford to buy a home. And I laugh at some of these people like, oh, my equity's gone up. Oh, I just want to be able to sell my house so that I can win. Yeah, meanwhile, your kids and your grandkids lose. What kind of sense does that make? You're not talking about a stock market investment or investing in a company that's going to grow and be worth more. No, you're talking about shitting all over your house and your neighborhood and turning into a place where nobody will be able to afford to live there. And you know what'll happen is people will lose their homes, and guess who'll buy it? The banks. BlackRock. And then they can rent it to you and your kids. Does that make sense? It makes sense to BlackRock. Everybody's got an ass backwards kind of mentality toward shit. So yeah, I've just been basically firing off the shutter, taking as much footage as I can, and I think, you know what, I'll get to it later. I'll put out whatever videos I can. I have so many videos to work on. I'm going to try and work a little bit tomorrow on some videos and get Mike out of here because I know he desperately needs his tractor, and I put him off long enough. And I told contractor Mike, I'm like, he's like, it would really be great if you could work on those couple of things. I'm like, not going to happen, bro. I already told you. Not going to, you could take him back or leave him here, but I got to finish this tractor. I'm getting there. I'm getting real close, and then I'll be on, you know, your stuff. But, you know, I already did a lot of work for contractor Mike, so he should be happy. I mean, I think he's doing pretty good. He's got enough machines now. I went through all his Toro Time Masters and a bunch of other stuff, and he had a friend help him. He had something like, what did he tell me? He had something like 7 or 10 weed whackers they went through on Saturday because he keeps buying them and they keep breaking. And I think he finally put together, he said he got most of them to work. You know, moving parts, or God knows what he did, but all that really matters is that him and the boys can just basically grab them, start them up, and go weed whack. And I have one here, and if it's, you know, over the winter or next season, whatever, if he needs some more help with them, I'll go through them, and probably what'll happen is some of them will become parts, and a lot of them, I'll just tell them throw them out, because a lot of these things, they, you know, You need the good ones. You need the one. I never put out the video for this year, but every year, right? My still runs, still starts up. You know, a couple of pulls, put some fresh fuel in the tank, maybe clean the plug, right? Because it's, you know, after being used for a season. Every now and then I wash it off and I give it a little bit of love, put some new line on it, and it runs. And they're expensive, but they work. And, you know, it's heavy, but if you need to, like, lay down some lawn, all day long, that thing will work. Year after year, as long as you mix the fuel right. So, let me see what else I got here. Because let's see, what time is it? We'll go 2 hours. That's it. You know what? Let's take a quick pee break because I haven't peed yet. And I'll do like 2 hours because, like I said, I'm not ready. I've been too busy doing stuff. I didn't put together a show or anything. And I don't want to just like roll off videos and whatever. Oh, I did order, before I go to pee break, I did order. Let me see. Do I have one? Hold on. Let me grab the flashlight. Let me grab my little flashlight. Before we go to pee break, I mentioned, because I was talking about getting some cables and stuff, you know, for the mics and everything, and so I started going through some stuff because I want to get StreamYard to work, and I'm like, well, I need different cables and whatever else, and like, here, grab one of these clips. So I started going through my stuff because I've been cleaning up here. And I also ordered a couple, and like these kinds of cables here, you see this cable has got on the one end, right, and the two different ends, but these are the kind of extension cables. They're mic cables for cameras and audio. These are like the 3.5 millimeter. We were talking about it with Mater the other day. Mater was talking about it on his channel too, because he's got his stuff setting up. And then there's this one. I ordered a couple more. Right, this is male, because that takes you from like the output of your sound card into this mixer that's over here. And then also some others that I'm making up some custom power cables as well. But I ordered some like 10 footers, and I ordered a 10 footer like this. This one I made. And I ordered it like a 10 footer like this as well. And just to experiment, and I dug out 2 of these. One's already I was playing with the other day. It's actually, I think it was over here. I saw it recently. Maybe this is it. I don't remember. So now I can fool around a little bit and try to figure out how do I get the audio out of these, you know, in a different way to patch through to this mixer and get the audio out of these presentations and into this mixer and have different ways from either this machine or the other machine over here. And that way, right, if you know, we go live with a bunch of people and I want to do a presentation like I just did or whatever else, because that's the problem, is I can either show the picture or have the audio, but I can't do both at the same time and have somebody sitting up on panel and switch back and forth. I just have to learn how to do that with this stuff in a different way than I'm doing it. So I'm like, well, if I have the cables around and I dig everything out and go through my junk and clean up and keep it neat and clean here, then there'll come a night where I'm hanging out till like 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, like so often has been the case. And, you know, if I feel well enough, I'll go and fool around. And then I'll do a test run, and then I'll hit you guys up on a Friday night or messages or whatever, and we'll have some fun. We'll do a couple of people at a time, and we'll do a little bit of testing on StreamYard. But let's go grab a quick jaw break, right? Let me set up. And I think that'll be fun. But I'm getting there. It's just going to take some time. You know, I just haven't had time to do a lot of stuff. But, you know, time will free up. Let's see. Here's the bee lady. Bee lady coming up. Now, I didn't hear her last time. I didn't fix that yet, but you guys heard her. There we go. So Mater had on a guy. Maybe yeah, we get Mater up here, too. Mater, you want to come up? When I get it going. See if Mater wants to come up too. But Mater had a guy on. That was bunch of nights ago. Was it earlier this week, Mater? When was it? When you had that guy, the Harley guy? He's got a good sized channel. But he was asking some questions about the quote, wokeness of Harley, whatever. And he had an interesting point of view, although I'll beg to differ to some degree with him, is that I think the point he's missing, he did explain himself very well. He's very well spoken. And he has a good point. And he said that he didn't care on this one level that, because what Harley is doing. But really what's happening is he's going to care because between the way the economy is going, that's one aspect. Americans need jobs. And that guy, Yuval Noah Harari, that essentially has written all these books and is outspoken about the World Economic Forum, telling us about what's really going to happen, that people are going to lose their jobs because AI and robots and everything. And that's what's been happening. And it's been, all of these companies are laying off. It's with the levels of layoffs that we see today, this is bad news because it's not like it was years ago. Because there's another movement afoot. And that movement is to change the scope of human interaction, human involvement with the world around them. Particularly with regard, now they're trying to ban, once again, that they are going to ban stoves. Colorado just banned gas stoves. And the point I'm making here is that anything that burns any kind of petroleum, they don't like. They don't like you. They don't want you doing it. California used to be huge. When I was coming up, Wayne showed something with Summit Racing. His son is building that Mustang. I've had tons of Mustangs. Bought a lot of stuff from Summit. Companies like Summit and many others were making all kinds of great off-road products in Southern California. And so many of them have gone out of business and been shoved out, sued, because they were making off-road products. And under license, they were allowed to do it. And then suddenly they start getting sued by all of these environmental groups and there's NGOs and because they don't want us to have any kind of combustion engine. Your carbon footprint is too high. And when you're looking at, in this world with small engines, the lawnmowers aren't going to be... One guy, I had the video on best damn lawnmower on the planet, right? The Honda HRX. And the guy said, I'm done. I'm going electric. So many people are just going to go electric. They're not going to be able to buy anything else anyway in another year or two. It's just not going to be available. And if it is available, it's going to be very expensive. Or you'll have something on the used market for a period of time. And when it comes to something like a motorcycle, really, especially off-road stuff, dirt bikes, things like that, a lot of that is just going to go the way of all things. Just because, for two reasons. One, it's going to be expensive. There's going to be carbon taxes and recreational use taxes and taxes on the fuel. And the fuel's going to be harder to get. And on and on and on and on. And while the economy is getting worse and worse and people have less disposable income to play around with fun stuff like Harleys or off-road shit and a business like it. And now they're talking about the World Economic Forum and the WHO is talking about all these viruses are coming out and they're going to do another lockdown. And if another lockdown happens and we have an issue with OPEC or whatever else, that's the death knell. And he'll be out of business, so it won't matter. And it does matter, and he should care. And all this ties back to the woke and it's not, he explained it well, but that's the world of yesterday. The world that we're in now and the world that we're moving into is not the world that he described. He described the world of yesterday and last year. But he's leaving, and he should know because he knows of these entities. Jobs like that are going to go the way of all things. Machines like that are going to be harder to get. Wealthy people may be able to afford them, but where are you going to live at $500,000 house? You're going to have a motorcycle too, and you're going to have a car for $50,000, and you're going to have and food and where are you going to get? How is any of that going to play out? So he should be very concerned, and he should care, and it's not the world he described. So I would really seriously beg to differ. And in this world here, a lot of people that do what we do or that do what I do with small equipment, these are the final days. These are the waning days of the buggy whip maker and the guys that fixed the horse and carriages and that did the horseshoes, because they're all gone. And we're at that point right now where a lot of this is going to disappear, and it's disappearing in a weird way under weird conditions. So I would care, okay? I would care. Let's see what Big Mike says. I would care. How you deal with that, I don't know. He goes, I use my P lady time to look back. Tractor looks good. Yeah, doesn't it, Mike? It really does. Like, it's in better shape than mine. I'm a little jealous. I'm a little bit jealous. You saw the smoke puffing out of my tractor, right? Although it will be fun pulling that engine apart. Now, there'll be things like that or whatever. They'll still be around, and there'll be some things left around. Like, they're going to get rid of gas stoves. They're claiming childhood asthma, and that's it. Colorado, you can't buy it. And you can't buy wood stoves either. So there goes you saving money because you got a piece of property with wood on it, or you want to kick back a few cords for the winter. Good luck with that. Because there's plenty of states already right now that are trying to make that impossible. Impossible. So he should care. So I would beg to differ. So the world that we're coming into is going to be nothing like the world that we grew up in or we even find ourselves in today. And it's happening very quickly. Do you think this economy can handle one more lockdown? I don't think it can. While Amazon rose to billions and trillions of dollars and all the big box stores were allowed to stay open, but you, me, people like me, you're just an undesirable. You're not a necessary worker. Remember? You're an unnecessary worker. You can stay home. And we'll put you on a nice, convenient pay plan, where you can sit around. Like my neighbor, he sat around and he got really overweight and he put the poker thing in his arm, drinking beer, hanging out, and he got real sick, cancer, everything else. He's a mess. You want to follow that lifestyle? Go right ahead. It's going to matter. And we ain't going to survive another one of those. All these people that, like, Walmart's kind of hanging in there. But a lot of these others, all these food places that went under, and now you're going to be served by, like that video I showed, you're going to be served by somebody sitting down, Steve from India, right? You're going to be like, I want to order a Big Mac. Oh, I don't know if the other one that you heard, but this one's really good. I didn't save any info from it, but because of the price of meat and everything else, let's see. He goes, everyone needs a roof. Yeah, you want jobs like that, be a roofer. But because of the increasing cost of meat and prices of everything, Burger King and McDonald's are having a problem. People can't afford. I mean, they figured what the average family income would be in order to be able to afford McDonald's. They can't afford the Big Macs and all the Happy Meals and all this stuff. So they teamed up with Tyson Foods. Tyson Foods pretty much is who supplies the meat, not the condiments and everything else, but the meat to companies like Burger King and McDonald's. And Tyson Foods teamed up with Bill Gates, who is the largest farm landowner in this country. To do what? Well, Bill has a company that has insect farms. And Tyson Foods and the insect farm company and McDonald's are going to help us out by making the meat more environmentally friendly and easier to deal with and cheaper, so you can eat your McDonald's, your Big Mac and Whoppers or whatever. Except now it's going to have insect protein in it. Like a lot of things have insect protein in it. So go out and enjoy your Big Mac with insect protein. It'll be cheap. You'll be able to afford it. Think it's the same world we grew up in? I don't think so. I'm going to get out of here, though. I'm going to go do some stuff, chill out for a little while, and call it early because we're an hour and 58 minutes, and I'll leave you on that. So that means it's 2 hours. It's sweet. And I can go chill, put my feet up after a nice long day. I got to get ready to kind of chill out tomorrow and do a few things, and it's back on Big Mike's tractor. Finish it up. Got a whole lot of stuff to do. But, yeah, I'm tired. I want to skip out. I'll see you guys later. Yeah, Red says, fuck that shit, tree hugging pussies. yeah. Love my still FS85. Hell yeah, bro. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that we need to support. We need to, Mitch says, night all. We need to support the good stuff. How we go about doing that, we all got to sit down and figure it out. I'll see you guys in the next one.